Have you ever walked into a room and felt the atmosphere shift? Not for the better, but for the worse. You haven't said a word yet. You haven't made a joke. You haven't insulted anyone. You have simply entered. And yet, you can feel a subtle, invisible wall go up between you and the people there. It is a drop in temperature. It is a shifting of eyes. It is a tightening of shoulders. You try to fix it. You smile a little brighter. You ask a polite question. You try to be helpful. But the harder you try, the more distant they become. It feels like you are sliding down a glass wall. There is nothing to grab onto, and you are slowly separating from the group. This is one of the most painful experiences a human being can have. It is the feeling of rejection without a cause. It keeps us awake at night. We replay the conversation in our heads, scanning for the mistake. Did I say something wrong? Did I have something in my teeth? Was I boring? We obsess over the content of the interaction, the words, the topics, the logic. But I want to tell you something that might save you years of heartache. It was never about the words. The human animal is an ancient, intuitive creature. For millions of years, before we had language, we communicated through energy, through posture, and through micro-signals. We are wired to detect safety and danger instantly. When someone meets you, their conscious mind is listening to your words, but their unconscious mind, the deep, primitive part of their brain, is tasting your energy. There are 3 specific signals or triggers that cause people to instantly hate you. I use the word hate not in the sense of active malice, but in the sense of a deep biological recoil. They want to get away from you. They lose respect for you. And the tragedy is, we usually display these 3 triggers when we are trying our hardest to be liked. We do them because we are nervous. We do them because we want to be good people. But to the observer, these behaviors do not look like kindness. They look like weakness. They look like manipulation. They look like a threat. Today we are going to walk through these 3 secret triggers. We are going to slow down and look at them under a microscope. We are not doing this to judge you. We are doing this to free you. Once you see these mechanics, you cannot unsee them. And once you stop doing them, the world changes around you. Let us begin with the first trigger. It is the most common, and it is often the one we are taught is polite. It is the solicitation of validation. To understand this, we have to look at how most people operate in a social environment. Most people walk into an interaction with a hidden question burning in their chest. That question is, am I okay? They look to the other person to answer that question. They look for a nod, a smile, a laugh, or a compliment to confirm that they are allowed to exist in that space. When you do this, you are not just being friendly. You are handing over your authority. You are making the other person the judge, and you are voluntarily taking the seat of the defendant. This manifests most clearly in the habit of over-explaining. Let's look at a very simple, practical situation. Imagine you are at work. You are 5 minutes late to a meeting because the traffic was unusually bad. There are 2 ways to enter this room. Person A walks in. They look frantic. Their shoulders are hunched. Before they even sit down, the words are tumbling out of their mouth. I am so sorry, everyone. The highway was completely blocked. There was this accident, and I tried to take the side road, but then my GPS failed, and I really made an effort to be here on time. I hope I didn't ruin the flow. Stop and feel that energy. What is person A actually doing? They are begging. They are terrified that the group thinks they are bad. They are taking up valuable time to clear their name. They are making the situation about their feelings and their anxiety rather than the purpose of the meeting. To the people in the room, this feels exhausting. It feels heavy. Now imagine person B. Person B walks in 5 minutes late. They move at a normal pace. They make eye contact. They sit down and simply say, "Apologies for the delay. Let's get started." That is it. No story, no excuse, no begging. What is the psychological difference? Person B believes they belong in the room. They know that being late is a minor error, not a character flaw. They respect the group enough not to waste time with a boring story about traffic. By not over-explaining, they signal status. They signal that they are comfortable with themselves, even when they have made a mistake. When you over-explain, you are telling the world, I am afraid of your judgment. And human beings are predatory by nature. If you show them your throat, if you show them you are afraid of them, they will instinctively feel that you are lower on the dominance hierarchy. They won't respect you. And without respect, there is no connection. This applies everywhere. Think about when you buy a gift for someone. The nervous person hands over the gift and says, "It's not much. I wasn't sure if you'd like the color. I still have the receipt if you want to return it. I just picked it up last minute." You have just robbed the moment of its joy. You have made the gift about your insecurity. The grounded person hands over the gift and says, "I saw this and thought of you. I hope you enjoy it." See the difference? One is a solicitation of validation. Please tell me I did good. The other is a gift. Here is something for you. The reversal of perspective here is to understand that silence is not empty, it is full of answers. We talk too much because we are afraid of the silence. We think that if we stop talking, the other person will judge us. But the opposite is true. When you speak less, your words carry more weight. When you stop explaining yourself, people assume you have a good reason for what you do. You must begin to catch yourself. The next time you feel the urge to offer an unasked-for explanation, swallow it. Physically swallow it. Feel the burn of anxiety in your chest. That anxiety is just a sensation. It cannot hurt you. Let the silence sit there. Watch what happens. You will see that the other person does not attack you. In fact, they will likely lean in. They will wait for you. You have become the center of gravity. The second trigger is darker. It is more subtle, and it causes a deeper, more visceral reaction of disgust. It is the repression of the shadow, or what we might call the artificial goodness. We live in a society that values nice people. From the time we are children, we are told to be nice, to share, to smile, to not make a fuss. We are taught that anger is bad, that selfishness is bad, that disagreement is rude. So, what do? We take all those parts of ourselves, our anger, our sharp edges, our ability to say no, and we stuff them into a bag. We hide them in the basement of our minds. Carl Jung called this the shadow. But here is the problem. You cannot destroy the shadow. You can only hide it. And when you hide it, you become the nice guy or the nice girl. You know this person. Perhaps you are this person. This is the person who agrees with everything. Do you want Italian food? Sure, if you want. Actually, I prefer Mexican. Oh yes, Mexican is great too. This is the person who never gets angry, even when they are insulted. This is the person whose voice is always a little too high, a little too soft. They smile constantly, even when the situation is serious. You might think this makes you safe. You might think this makes you likable, but biologically, to the person across from you, you are terrifying. Why? Because the human brain knows that nobody is that nice. The human brain knows that everyone has a breaking point. Everyone has opinions. Everyone has a dark side. When you present a flawless, smiling mask to the world, the other person's intuition goes off like a siren. It thinks, this person is lying. They are hiding their true self. If they are hiding their anger, what else are they hiding? Are they manipulating me? Are they a psychopath? There is a concept in robotics called the uncanny valley. It refers to a robot that looks almost human, but not quite. It looks 99% human, but the eyes are dead. This creates a feeling of horror in us. The nice person creates the same feeling. It is the uncanny valley of personality. When you refuse to show your teeth, people cannot trust your smile. Let's apply this to a practical situation. A dating scenario or a friendship. You are sitting with someone and they make a joke that is actually quite rude to you. It crosses a line. The nice person laughs nervously. They pretend they didn't hear it, or they pretend it was funny. They repress their shadow. In that moment, the other person loses all attraction to you. They know they can walk all over you. They know you have no spine. Now imagine the reversal. The person makes the rude joke. You do not laugh. You do not scream or flip the table. That is weakness too. Instead, you simply stop moving. You look them in the eyes. You let the silence hang for 3 seconds. And you say calmly, "That was a weird thing to say to me." You don't smile when you say it. You say it with a flat face. Then you go back to your drink. What have you just done? You have shown a flash of the shadow. You have shown that you are capable of aggression, but you have it under control. You have shown that you have boundaries. Psychologically, this is incredibly attractive. It signals that you are a whole human being. You are not a doormat. You are a person with self-respect. People do not want a harmless rabbit. A rabbit is harmless because it is weak. It cannot hurt you even if it wanted to. There is no virtue in being a rabbit. People want a gardener with a sword. A gardener with a sword is capable of violence, but chooses peace. That is virtue. That is power. When you stop trying to be nice and start trying to be real, the tension in your relationships disappears. Paradoxically, people feel safer around you when you are capable of disagreeing with them. They know that when you do say yes, you actually mean it. They know your kindness is a choice, not a compulsion. You must give yourself permission to be disagreeable. You must give yourself permission to take up space. You must give yourself permission to have a face that isn't smiling. Watch the most charismatic people in the world. Actors, leaders, thinkers. Watch them in interviews. They do not smile constantly. They listen with a neutral face. They think before they answer. They are not afraid to say, "I disagree with that." And because of this, we cannot take our eyes off them. The third trigger is the most desperate and the most repelling. It is the vacuum of need. This is often called outcome dependence. It is the energy of wanting something from the other person rather than sharing something with them. We have all felt this energy coming from someone else. Think of the salesperson who tries too hard. They are speaking to you, but they aren't really listening. They are scanning your face to see if you're going to buy. They are laughing too loud at your jokes. They are standing a little too close. You feel a pulling sensation. You feel like they are a vampire trying to suck energy or money or approval out of you. Your instinct is to run away. You physically close off. You cross your arms. You back up. Now turn the mirror on yourself. How often do you walk into a social situation with a hidden agenda? I hope they like me. I hope he thinks I'm pretty. I hope she thinks I'm smart. I hope I get the job. When you think these thoughts, you create a vacuum. You become a hole in the room that is trying to be filled. This is the hungry ghost syndrome. When you are needy, you are essentially using the other person. You are not seeing them as a human being with their own complexities, fears, and desires. You are seeing them as a vending machine. You are putting coins of niceness in, hoping that love or validation drops out. People feel used when you do this. Even if you are being polite, they feel the transactional nature of your behavior. They feel the weight of your expectation. Let's look at a practical situation, the first date. The person who is stuck in the vacuum of need spends the whole date trying to win. They are performing. They are curating their stories to sound impressive. If the other person looks bored, they panic and talk faster. If the date ends and there is no text back immediately, they spiral into anxiety. They are holding an empty cup, begging the other person to pour water into it. Now look at the reversal. This is the full cup mindset. This person goes on the date not to be liked, but to observe. Their internal monologue is not, "I hope they like me." Their internal monologue is, I wonder what this person is like. I wonder if I like them. This is a massive shift in power. When you are there to observe, you are not taking, you are assessing. You are the one with the high ground. You are not performing. You are simply sharing who you are, and if they don't connect with it, you don't panic. You simply think, oh, we are not a match. That is interesting. This is outcome independence. It means your internal state of well-being is not dependent on the outcome of this interaction. If you get the job, great. If you don't, you are still whole. If they call you back, wonderful. If they don't, you are still whole. When you genuinely do not need the other person, you become incredibly magnetic. We are drawn to people who are self-sustaining. We are drawn to people who generate their own energy. Think of the ocean. The ocean does not care if you swim in it. It does not care if you sit on the beach and watch it. It does not care if you hate it. It just crashes against the shore over and over with immense power. Because the ocean does not need you, you want to be near it. You travel thousands of miles just to stand next to it. Be the ocean. Stop walking into rooms like a beggar. Walk in like a king or a queen who already has everything they need. You are there to share your abundance, not to steal scraps of approval. So we have these three triggers: the solicitation of validation, the over-explainer, the repression of the shadow, the fake nice person, the vacuum of need, the desperate seeker. How do we change this? How do we shift from repelling people to attracting them? It requires a subtle inner adjustment. It is not about learning tricks or pick-up lines. It is about changing where your mind lives during a conversation. We call this the inner shift. The next time you are with people, I want you to play a game with yourself. I want you to activate the watcher. Usually we are the actor. We are on stage, blinded by the lights, trying to remember our lines, terrified of the audience. I want you to step off the stage. I want you to sit in the audience of your own life. Watch yourself talking. Watch the other person. When you feel the urge to fill an awkward silence, stop. Just watch the silence. Feel the tension in the room and realize that it cannot kill you. Let the other person speak first. When you feel the urge to agree with something you hate, stop. Watch that feeling of cowardice arise, and instead of speaking, just take a sip of water. Say nothing. When you feel the urge to impress, stop. Look at the other person's shoes. Look at the wall. Ground yourself in the physical reality. Remind yourself, I am a biological entity. They are a biological entity. We are just two mammals in a room. I have nothing to prove. This is the practice of detachment. Detachment does not mean being cold. It does not mean being an aloof jerk. It means detaching your self-worth from their reaction. It means you can be warm, you can be loving, you can be funny, but you are doing it because it flows out of you, not because you are pulling it out of them. When you master this, you achieve a state of quiet power. Quiet power is the most attractive trait on earth. It is the person who speaks slowly. It is the person who listens intently. It is the person who can sit still. It is the person who knows that if everyone in the room walked out, they would still be okay. The world is noisy. Everyone is screaming, look at me, like me, validate me. Do not add to the noise. Be the stillness. When you stop trying to convince people that you are worthy, they will start trying to convince you. When you stop hiding your dark side, they will trust your light side. When you stop needing them, they will need you. It is a paradox, but it is the truth of the human heart. You are enough, exactly as you are, sitting in the silence of your own being. You do not need to explain it. You do not need to apologize for it. You just need to be it.